Broncos country, good evening, fellas. How y'all doing, man? Crazy to think. Broncos are the number one seed, and I have a feeling that overall it's going to be more negative sentiment across Broncos media than it is positive. But not here on this show, man. Not here. I am joined by my good friend Jeremy. Jeremy, how you feeling, man? The Broncos are officially the kings as of now of the AFC. How does that make you feel overall?
If you would have told me that was going to happen, I probably wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
For the season.
And I feel like we would all, at least the majority of Broncos country would have been a lot happier at the thought of us being the number one seed than it actually happening. But again, we should know, man, the Broncos, they don't like to win games with ease, even though it was 19-3 and you felt like we were in control. It's just something about frustrating. What do style points mean to you, man? Do they mean anything at all?
I mean, it just depends on the team and on the season. Certain teams, I feel like we need them, and other teams, I don't. We've won so many games so close this year. I almost feel like we're most comfortable being uncomfortable. Like we need something to matter and need each play to matter for us to like fully lock in, which is not necessarily great, but if you can do it, and they've done it, like, you can't complain. I mean, it would be much easier. We were complaining, why didn't we get like a blowout? How come we can never get a blowout game? But hey, so we're the number one seed. Anybody would trade hands with us if they could with all their style points. So I'll take it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And T. Fisher says it perfectly. He says, guys, it was another vanilla preseason game plan, Sean.
That's
and right. VJ don't want to show their cards. Easy dub. I agree, man. And for me, it was never like, in all the group chats that I was in, talking with my friends, like, I don't think anybody was worried that we were going to lose this game really at any point. But it was more like, oh, look at, New England is blowing out Miami. And, like, that's a legit playoff team. And it's like, dude, these games don't, like, the way in which you win doesn't really matter because the Broncos have been in a very strange position, right, of, like, you need to win, but you also don't want to give away too much. And I just feel like I resort back, like, I guess my message to Broncos country will be, trust in Sean Payton. He's gotten us to this point where we are 14 wins, a couple seasons after eating $88 million in cap, getting rid of a quarterback, not really having anything. So I trust that he kind of has an idea of he knows what he's doing. And that's kind of what I felt like today. Like that was as vanilla of a game plan as it gets. That was probably more vanilla than anything we've seen in the preseason. That was like, hey, we don't care. We just need to win and trust in our defense. And we did. So, overall it feels good, man. It's going to be really great to just kick the feet up next week, watch the divisional round, and then have a good idea of the opponent. Anybody that now that we have a good idea of what it's going to look like, at least from a seeding perspective, the only thing in the AFC that's not settled right now is the number 4 seed, obviously with Pittsburgh and Baltimore tonight. But I mean, what are your overall thoughts on maybe the wild card round and on how it's going to shape up, in the AFC, if you have any?
I just am excited to watch those games. Like that's gonna be good games. I'm excited to watch, the Chargers play New England. If we'll see what happens there. And if New England handles business, we don't have to deal with the Chargers. We don't typically play good against the Chargers. We still didn't play against the Chargers. So congratulations, we finally beat the Chargers. I know it wasn't like 100% on everything on the line, but that's going to be, I can't wait to watch that. I can't wait to watch the Bills play Jacksonville. Like that's going to be heavy hitting. So, yeah, and then Houston versus whoever is going to be a dogfight. I mean, that's going to be a low scoring, most likely just defensive struggle. So if we end up playing one of those teams, they're going to be sore coming after that game. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm just glad we handled it. And we can now just take a breather. But you're right. Even though we're frustrated watching the football game, all that mattered in this football game was win and stay healthy. That's it. Like, it doesn't matter if we won by 1 point. It didn't matter if we won by 50 points. That's all that mattered.
No doubt about it, man. And I think that was the thing that really was bothering me about the game early. And thankfully, Forsyth was able to come back in. Bowles was able to come back in. But holy moly, the injuries there. PJ Locke, we're gonna have to wait and see with that one. The good news about PJ Locke is it didn't look like it was overly serious, and all we would really need depending on how Brandon Jones is doing, because we don't really know. But technically, we just need to play one wild card game, playoff game without him, and he is eligible to come back with what would be the championship game. But yeah, the injuries, man. Thankfully, we got out of the game clean, unscathed. And yes, David, you nailed it. Sternad is without a doubt, the best linebacker that we've had this year up to this point. He's every time he's played, I thought he's played super well. So shout out to Justin Sternad there. But yeah, man, I truly believe that, like, I think Sean Payton genuinely believes that the next playoff game that we're going to play, or the first game that we're going to play in the playoffs, is going to be against the Chargers. I really do believe it is going to be against Chargers. I think the Chargers are better than the Patriots. I think they could definitely go to New England and beat them. And that's who it would be automatically. But, we'll see. I think that there's a really good chance that we end up seeing this Chargers team later on. You don't want to give anything. And they didn't. Nope. The Broncos, they definitely did not. In fact, if anything, teams might be preparing for, like, the game plan that they've seen the last few weeks. And hey, that might be a good thing, because I hope the offense looks nothing like that. But any other takeaways from the game overall? Good, bad, and different?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was just like, it's weird how, like, this, if you would have been like, hey, at the end of the game, they're going to give up 3 points. The defense is going to give up 3 points, but still you don't feel great about that. I mean, personally, it felt sloppy 3 points, even though it was 3 points. I know, and it's Trey Lance, I get it, but it just seems like this defense, I was just happy that we got turnovers, because that was the one thing we hadn't been able, and if we can get kind of that momentum going, that's the biggest thing. So I'm pleased with the defense, but I didn't feel it was as good as we could have get. But at the same time, our offense was it was such a slog that it's like they were on the field way too much, in my opinion. So, and they got a pick six that really put them behind the sticks. That made it at least somewhat of a comfortable win, even though it was never like a really comfortable win. But being up 10 or being at least up 7 the whole game is like, okay, at least we're not going to lose off like some fluky play or something.
Yeah, no doubt. And my big concern, man, and I'm going to just pray to God it's an anomaly, but the offensive line was awful. Horrible. By far and away the worst performance of the year for them.
Yep.
No excuses. It was bad, like all around. McGlinchey was not good. Ben Powers had some bad plays. Forsyth struggled at times a little bit. Quinn Miners, everybody was playing was awful. And if that's going to be a problem and that carries over into the playoffs, this team 100% will be one and done, because the offensive line is so important for the way in which this team has operated, and Bo being comfortable and all that. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really bad performance by the offense. But again, you didn't really expect for it to be like unbelievably special. You just didn't.
Yeah. And the other thing that I really it's frustrating watching the game, but coming off of this game, nobody's going to be like hyping us up, which is exactly what this team needs. This team is bad when we get talked about. Like, we want to be the underdogs. We want to be like one and done. All the conversation. Oh, Bo Nix isn't that great. Oh, the offensive line struggled. Oh, the defense is kind of suspect. We thrive being like downplayed or, talked against. So I'm glad we are going into the playoffs, and we're going to hear for 2 weeks about how we're not great. And that's exactly
100%. I mean, this is a perfect comment for it, right? Denver is cheeks, but I think, I always think it's funny when they say cheeks, but I think it really is a big thing. Like, anytime this team's been back against the wall when we were underdogs in the games late in the season, we end up winning. Like, that's when we end up playing the best. So I do love it that, like, people think we're maybe a fraudulent number 1 seed, or we're not that good of a team. And listen, I'm sure New England feels the same way. Like,
sure,
I think New England is really solid. I think that their turnaround's been amazing. I think their future is extremely bright. I'm not as scared of them as a lot of other teams, and maybe that's being ignorant, but that's sometimes teams thrive off of that. Maybe the national media is going to think the same thing. So I'm all for it. I love that. That's going to be the narrative around us. And listen, ultimately we got to see, is it going to pay off, or have everybody that marked us off as being, a fake number 1 team or a bad team, whatever it might be, were they correct? We're going to find out. But at the end of the day, I like it when we go into a game focused. People are doubting us. There's a lot of bulletin board material. I think it works out well in our favor. So
it does.
We will,
and they got to come here no matter what. So they're going to have to deal with the crowd. this game showed. I hate every week we talk about this, but the refs are not going to do us any favors. They never do. So at least
Mhm.
we'll have the crowd, and they can't
Yeah.
take that away from us. So
And,
that's
and
good.
of all the games, man, it took until week 18 to where I was finally like, oh, the refs called a good game. Like
Up
I thought
until
they were.
like, up until like Keenan Allen clearly didn't catch the ball, and they're like, nope, he caught it and he got a first down. And you're like, what?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then the fumble at the end, you're like, that's a fumble. Nope, we're gonna give it to him. It's like, all
yeah.
right,
The
well,
fumble, I didn't
whatever.
know if we were gonna get it. The Keenan Allen thing, what I was surprised why, I thought what Harbaugh was doing was he was gonna challenge the spot on the field,
Yeah,
and I always thought that when a play gets challenged, that like
it's
they look
only
at
what he asked for.
exactly what they're looking at.
Yeah,
And then that would have maybe not allowed for the Broncos to challenge the challenge. So I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. But the referee guy did say like you look at all manners of the field, so they
yeah,
didn't see
anything's
anything
up
in
for review.
yeah, which was like okay, really, dude, that was a pretty terrible call because clearly the ball was like sliding on the turf. But
And the problem I have with the
nothing.
fumble was that it was called a fumble on the field. So you have to
No, it
have,
wasn't.
yeah, they did. They called that as a
Oh, they did.
fumble.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
It's like, oh,
that actually makes sense. That's actually the right call because it's automatically going to get reviewed at that point.
yeah.
That one I'm like wishy-washy, like 50-50, I think on that one. Um,
I would have
I
said
would say
whatever
the
they called
Keenan
on the
Allen one
field
was
should stick probably on that
yeah.
one.
The Keenan Allen one wasn't very good, but it was definitely one of those where like there wasn't such an egregious call at such a important time of the game. Because even if they're gonna give Keenan Allen the first down, I was like, all right, like whatever. I think you still
Yeah.
felt good about how the defense was gonna perform. But yeah, regardless, thought it was a cleaner game. I just hope that for the sake of the NFL, and this goes for all games and all teams,
Mhm.
the NFL, the officiating is just better in the playoffs. Because I was
Please.
even watching the Colts game earlier. It was just like on my TV in the background, and they ended up ejecting Alec Pierce
I saw.
for the referee touching him. The referee
It's
literally
crazy.
puts his elbow out, and I'm just like, dude, like
What are
you're
we
gonna
doing?
kill the integrity of the team. And it didn't really make a difference. It was a meaningless game, really, for both teams. It didn't really make a difference in the game overall. But like, my goodness, dude, like you just can't have stupid calls like that.
And I didn't
And
see the highlights, but like didn't the Panthers completely get screwed over like because they called something that shouldn't have been? They should have had an option
oh, dude, the
and it totally
Panthers. So,
screwed
so the
them.
Panthers got lucky that they ended up still making the playoffs, but
Yeah.
that was horrible.
Yeah, so it's like,
And
what
I
are we
was listening
doing?
to it. I was shopping with my wife yesterday, but I had it like listening in my earbud, so I wasn't like watching. I was just listening to the live broadcast. Even the announcers were like, "This is horrible. Like this is
Yeah.
egregious." And I like it when they do that. And then you have like the stupid, their official NFL guy, whoever it might be from, depending on the the channel that it's on, and they're like always trying to defend the calls, and it's like, dude,
I know.
like sometimes it's okay to say, "Hey, it was a bad call. Like it
Yeah, they
was
got it
terrible."
wrong.
And at that point of the game, you couldn't. Yeah, they had a lot of really bad calls in that one. Like I said, I didn't really fully see them, but if the announcers were saying how bad it was,
It's
yeah.
bad.
But lucky for them, it didn't end up costing playoff berth. But it's a horrible division. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah. Who is your player of the game?
Oh, I love the way Sternad played. I thought the player of the game had to be Nick Bonito.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like I thought the sack fumble was massive. That really put the game like completely out of reach. Gave us a third, an additional 3 points. We should have been able to convert, but I thought he deserved of it. And I mean, the whole defense played well, dude. Like Riley Moss played so good.
Yeah, he should have had that pick six though. Man,
He
that
should
was
have.
he was so mad.
But I'm curious who yours was.
You know who I thought played the best on offense for sure? I'll go offensive. Jaleel was seeing
Yeah.
it well.
Yeah, Jaleel was balling.
And
was balling today.
I was good to see him because people had kind of written him off throughout the season. He's too small, all this. And he was by far our best weapon. I thought Pat Bryant had some good, nice plays. I don't know what happened with that concussion, but Pat Bryant looks almost like he's like, I'm going into full playmaking juke mode now, which he
Yeah.
wasn't doing that before. And I was like, what
Yeah,
is
I
happening?
thought the early drop was frustrating, but then he really started to pick it up.
Yeah. But I mean, from the first catch of the game, I was like, he was looking to like really shoot people and try to play make. And I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
and that's good coming off of concussion that he wasn't like oh no, I'm afraid to get hit. No, he was like full on. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
okay, he looks live. And Jaleel did too. I didn't understand what was going on. Bo just didn't want to throw to people, or he was ending up running a bunch, took a bunch of hits. I don't know what was going on today,
Yeah,
but
the timing looked off. The protection wasn't good at a lot of times, but I really believe, man, like Sean is screaming to Bo, just do not turn the ball over.
yeah, probably.
Like especially after you go down, you score 3, you got 3-0, and then the defense gets the pick, you're up 10-0. At that point, you're like, I don't care if you take a sack. I don't care if just do not turn the ball over and let the defense go and win it, which in reality is the smart, game plan to have. But it's also like, was that the case? You know,
Yeah.
or was it something else? Because yeah, he seemed very off. The whole offense's timing seemed off. But
Well, they got 2 weeks to get it together.
yeah, yeah. So goal number 2, we got to check on that.
Yeah,
Have a
that's
home
right.
playoff game. Every playoff game will be at home for Denver. And yeah, man, I mean, it is what it is. So
Yep.
so I love it. I love it. Anybody else specifically you want to talk about?
Let's see. I really like Jonah Ellis. I thought he played really well. He had juice. I thought Wazirike, like, he flashed.
He started off horrible, but
Yeah.
he did turn it around a little bit.
Yeah, and then, yeah, I just felt like Benito missed that one sack, which I'm sure was frustrating, but then for him to get that strip sack after that was awesome. And it's nice to get him going into the playoffs, because he had kinda had a little lull there for a little bit, so
Mhm.
it was nice to. And who knows, if we end up playing the Chargers in a couple weeks, you just going against people, get comfortable rushing that. So, and
Yeah.
it was kind of good to play against a running quarterback too, because there's a lot now. And I thought they had a pretty good plan, even though Trey Lance, his touch was not obviously on, especially early. But man, he made some plays with his feet where you think he's going to get tackled or sacked, and he just pushed people
Yeah.
off and continued. So
Yeah.
that's just a good reminder going in. Um, and McLaughlin, the pick six was just huge.
Yeah.
We needed that so bad. So yeah, those were the main ones. I think PS2 laid that huge hit at the end there on 4th down. That was nice. And yeah, I was just so worried about the injuries. So all's well that
Yeah.
ends well. Ended up pretty clean.
It's just funny because like you get like Glenn Paul here saying Lance is poop, which he's Trey Lance off, and if he says like if it weren't for your defense, the donkeys ain't nothing. And here's my narrative. I mean, whether it's trolling or not, I was talking to some buddies in a group chat as well, and they were all saying the same thing. Like Bo's not him, man. If Herbert was playing, they would beat us by 20. And it's like, dude, the game
We
plan would
wouldn't
be
be
very
playing the
different.
same way. Yeah.
Yeah, like you think we're just gonna be sitting there running the football and dumping off screens and like being very vanilla if we knew that we're going like it's so you cannot make those comparisons. Like it's just so wildly different. And so listen, if Justin Herbert plays what they have won, I mean maybe, but to sit there like, oh, they would have won by 20, it's like you can't say that because it's going to be a completely different plan. Broncos are going to be a lot more aggressive in certain times. They're going to try to be more creative. Like it's it's just wildly different to say that. So that's kind of all I have to say about that. But yeah, Jaleel, man, I thought he looked great. Like, and what I love about Jaleel this year is he's breaking tackles.
Yes.
Like he had a couple of broken tackles that ended up he ended up getting a lot more yards afterwards. And I'm like, I've never seen Jaleel do that. That's always been the
Right.
number one thing that pisses me off about him is
Yep.
like you get a hand on him, he's down. And
Yep.
over the last couple weeks, that has not been the case. So it's really good, and we're gonna need him, man. We're gonna very much need him.
And not just breaking tackles because he was juking people, but breaking tackles because, like, he was going through arm tackles and pushing forward. Like, that was what
Exactly.
was impressive,
Yeah.
because he
No,
can
and
juke and set people
yeah,
up, but it was always like, oh, once they get any sort of, you know, not just a hand on him, but like an arm on him, he's down. But not today.
yeah,
And I mean, the way that this season has kind of gone, he's fresh right now, which is most teams do not have fresh running backs going into the playoffs. So that's that was good to see. I feel like Harvey obviously didn't have a great day, but like there were so many times it wasn't there for him either.
yeah,
So he's going to be like fired up for the next game. And then, there was talk about Dobbins maybe coming back, maybe not
yep,
for the divisional round, but maybe for AFC Championship if we win. So that's exciting too. I just
Yeah, you never know. I haven't heard anything about him, so hopefully, man, you never know. We might be able to have him to some capacity in the next game. With the extra week off, it'd be like I think at least 2 months since he's played. Um,
yeah, it's been a while.
so maybe that's ample time. Who knows? But yeah, we haven't really heard anything about that, so we'll see.
Yeah, we just had heard that somebody had asked him, would he be make it back for the Super Bowl, and he said sooner.
Yeah,
So that's from him. But I don't know.
yeah, because he
I
was hurt
mean,
November 6th, and it's basically it's been
it's been 2 months.
essentially 2 months on the
Yeah.
nose. Yeah, so
And then it'll be 2.5 months by the time we play again,
mhm.
and then almost 3 months by the time we get to the AFC Championship.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, I mean, that was a frustrating game, but like, let's. I can't believe we're 14-3, and like the season has gone the way it's gone. And even though, like, yeah, we're not blowing people out the way that other teams want with the style points, like, what a masterful job by Sean Payton. And then Bo Nix, I think, with today's win, becomes like the all-time winningest quarterback for the first 2 years of a career. So, like, I mean, you just got to step back and just say, hey, 14-3.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. This year has been very weird. The fact that I think Tony Romo broke it down during the game, like, we all expected the Chiefs to be in there somewhere. They're out. Everybody expected, the Ravens to be one of the top teams. They might be out. And then the Bills to be one of the top teams, and they're like a wild card. And
Mhm.
now it's startup New England, Jacksonville's really good. And then it's just a weird year, but like it's cool to see fresh blood and cool to see like how this season has gone, because it's
Oh, I
not
love it.
anything what anybody expected.
No, I love it. I think it's good for the NFL as a whole, man, to get like new teams, new quarterbacks, allow for guys to kind of create their own legacies, and it's not just the same three guys that we're talking about every single year on the AFC side and the NFC side. So that's going to be really cool. So we'll see. I'm excited. I think next week's wild card games are going to be really good.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, like just on the surface looking at it now, I think all three wild card teams are going to win.
That's what
But
most
like
people
that's the cool
think.
thing about the AFC is that you have no idea. But like, dude, I mean, you can make the argument that all three NFL teams, like, because here's my thing. It looks like, I mean, I think seeing the Chargers beat the Patriots isn't crazy to think. The Chargers, we know how they are in the playoffs, but you never know there. Buffalo going to Jacksonville, I think that's probably the highest chance of them winning. I would love it for Buffalo to not be in it because they scare the hell out of me, but I can see them, you know, whooping up on the Jags. And then Houston with that defense can beat anybody anywhere, whether it's Pittsburgh or Baltimore. I mean, they're legit. So it's a fun year in the AFC, man. It's wild. So
It
we'll see how it
is.
plays out.
Yeah, I honestly don't. This is why I don't bet. I don't know. Like, I could see New England being actually legit and taking out the Chargers, but I also could see the opposite. So I
Yeah.
really don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Now, home field advantage in the playoffs is so huge. So for LA to have to fly to New England, who knows what the
Yeah.
weather is gonna be? That's tough no matter
Hmm.
what, just to start off
Yeah. Just
of a
going west to east like
California
that.
team doing that. Same with like Jacksonville. If Jacksonville has to come back to Denver to play us at some point, one, they've done it already, so good on them. They did it. But also, like, if it's cold here that day, who knows how it's going to be. Now, this year has been really weird where it's like there's not been any snow or any cold at all. I played pickleball today, so who knows.
Yeah.
So, but winning on the road is super difficult in the playoffs anyways, especially going up against a crowd. So I really don't know. It's wide open. It really is. The AFC is wide open this year. So I would rather be the team that has the home field.
Yep.
That's a big advantage. So
Yeah. So some news here, some newsworthy notes. I guess Sean Payton had said the Broncos would practice Friday and Saturday during the bye week. So next week they're practicing Friday, Saturday,
okay.
and then they come back the following Monday for a regular week. So it's a little bit of a unique schedule. Also, Vance Joseph is open and free to interview with teams as early as Tuesday. How does that make you feel overall? Does that kind of make you nervous that you have a coordinator interviewing for other jobs?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate just like focus. We've talked about this before where it's like almost there should be a rule where it's just like you can't hire until the season's over. Cause it's like I understand like what it takes to prepare for an interview and all the things that to look good in an interview. And I know that Vance looks good in interviews. He really does his preparation because he got the job here because of he interviewed
Mm-hmm.
so well the year he didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then like the Broncos came back and gave it to him. So like, yeah, I don't like it at all. It just
Yeah.
takes your focus away, you know? But
No, especially if you feel like, there's always rumblings that don't always get out, but like, like everyone knew Kellen Moore was gonna get the Saints job well before he even interviewed the first time.
mhm,
And so it's like if he knows that it's probably gonna happen, he's got to prep for it. Like it's easy to say, yeah, I'm focused as on this, but then you got family stuff you got to deal with, and it's always gonna be like you're human. You're not gonna be able to fully block it out. So I don't like it either, man. I don't want to see Vance go. I would be super happy for him, but yeah, I hope this isn't a distraction or anything we have to worry about because, we've seen the defense late in the season be a little leaky at times. So we need them to be on their P's and Q's with an offense that, frankly, we don't really know what the hell we're going to get with them. But
yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. And then, but other people are going to be interviewing too. So, they were talking about the Chargers defensive coordinator like getting interviews too. So it just is what it is. It's that time of year. I mean, you'd rather be the team getting picked from than the team having to do the picking. So,
yep,
like, it just comes with the territory of being a good team.
no doubt. And I don't think there's going to be as many openings as we think. Right. I don't know
Yeah.
what Pete Carroll's situation with the Raiders is. I haven't really heard anything about that. But obviously, the Jets are looking for a new. The Jets might actually be looking for a new head coach too. But who knows? Aaron Glenn could be one and done, or they could make him run back. I feel like he might be on the Nathaniel Hackett train, dude, because they've looked horrible. They finished the year with 0 interceptions.
No
The
way.
first team ever to do that.
That's, you
It's
couldn't do
actually
that.
crazy.
That's like just the interception that we got today was like, how do you not get that interception because of a
Yeah,
bad pass? Like that's insane
it's
that
insane.
you could even do that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy, and they played Mitchell Trubisky today, bro, and he had 4 touchdowns, no picks against them. Yeah, they're the first team to ever finish the season with no. So it's like,
Man.
I mean, how much can you actually believe in them? And then, like, here's the thing, like, Muji's their GM. He saw like, hey, sometimes you got to take your medicine and move on from a coach. I mean, I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know if Eli's in the chat here, but I'm curious on how that feels. But, they could be one. We know that Tennessee's looking for a head coach. Who else got fired? The Giants. So we know of 2 for sure. Rumblings about Cleveland, but I'm not gonna lie, man. Like if I was a team that needed a head coach, Stefanski would be on that list because I think he's a really good coach in an absolutely horrendous organization. So there might not even be that many openings to where
Yeah.
it's, Vance Joseph has a lot of options, but
And if I
I
was
guess we'll know
Vance
more tomorrow.
Joseph, I wouldn't just pick whoever, like whatever
For sure.
team's hiring. I mean, I would be selective.
Yeah, and
So
I think he probably learned a lot from his first time. Like it's so important to have stability, a good GM that you know how to work with, like all
yeah,
that, because he didn't have any of that here the first time.
yeah,
He had no owners. The ownership, the trust was terrible. John Elway was just like basically calling the shots, and he had like no personnel decisions, anything like that. So, yeah, that's a really good point too. So we'll see, but yeah, what a crazy season, man. What a crazy year it's been. Can't believe it.
with the Raiders winning today, does that kick them out of the first pick? Or are they still the first pick?
No, they clinched it before.
Oh, they had clinched it before, so they're
Yeah,
like, might as well win.
yeah, exactly. They clinched it, I think, because the Giants won and Cleveland won. Maybe I don't. I gotta see exactly what it was.
Yeah, I think Cleveland won as well.
Cleveland did win, but I don't know if that affected it or not.
Mm,
But yeah, it was something like that.
okay,
But they had clinched it in advance. So we'll see.
interesting.
We'll see what comes from that. We got a lot of Jack. I'm surprised, man, for a small market team. There's a lot of Duval county people here in this in this
Be
chat, but a
proud
lot of
of the.
people,
Yeah, it's a compliment.
dude, I think it's awesome.
I do too.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I was big time rooting for the Jags when they had oh my god, he looks like Dane Cook was the quarterback again.
Oh, it was he was on the Broncos for a second there too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ah,
when they had
what's
him
his name?
it's gonna drive me
Say
nuts
it in the
because the other
chat.
yeah, well the other day someone had brought him up and I knew the name right away. I was like, yeah, but now it's like it's escaping me. But I was rooting for him. I always like to see teams like the Jags or the Lions or the Bills or anybody like win significant games. Not necessarily the Bills this year, but a lot of people saying like you better hope you don't see the Jags again. I kind of do. I love the fact that we lost to them. It'd be hard
Yeah,
for it's always hard for a team to beat a team twice. So I'd be fine with it. It'd be fun, but
it's Blake
I could
Bortles.
Blake Bortles. That's right, Blake Bortles. Yep.
Yeah,
And man, they were close. Like Blake Bortles was close to winning that game. People
they were
forget
up.
he almost upset Tom Brady and the Patriots.
They were up 2 touchdowns in that game, which was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
That was
This
a
is
wild season.
yeah, this is just one of those seasons where it's just like I don't know.
Yeah,
Like nobody would have picked this season, so that's what makes the NFL fun. And but you know, I will say that the Broncos aren't going to go quietly if they go because they're so used to tight games. Like that's it. That's what we do.
yeah,
It's going to be interesting to see some of these teams that are more blowout teams if they have to be in a struggle. If they have to play Houston or somebody like that, that's going to like make them earn every little thing. And then now they're uncomfortable. They're down 3 late. Are they going to feel like they can? It's just a different. It's a different feeling of like grind out winning and winning comfortably. And if you have to play a style that's not what you do, can you do it? So that's
yeah.
that's what's going to be interesting about this.
I mean, I think you see it every year, right? Like Detroit last year.
Hmm.
They didn't seem like they were their games where a lot of them were just blowouts. They weren't really in like a bunch of close games. You saw it last week with the Rams. Now that could come back and help them out a lot, but like they were in this dogfight with Atlanta. All of a sudden, they ended up not finding a way to win. So yeah, I mean, we
Right.
will see.
Atlanta's so weird. They won 2 massive football games at the end of the season there. We're just like, where was this? But I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just a weird
NFL is a
year.
crazy place, man. It's
It
a crazy
is.
place. I think also I don't think they've released the schedule for the wild card week, but I think time and place is going to be big for a lot of these guys. Like you talked about,
Hmm.
uh, LA having to go all the way to New England. They play on Saturday. That's going to be a big wrinkle for them. That would really
Ooh,
suck if it ends up being the Monday night game. Maybe it's not as big of a deal, but and that could go for a lot of different matchups. So it'll be interesting to see
yeah.
what ends
Yeah.
up coming out. I'm sure they'll probably put that out after tonight's game.
And do you think like if you're a Charger fan after watching this, I mean, does today do anything for you, or you're just like 100%? We're just resting our guys. Who cares?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think
Yeah.
that was an absolute smart thing for them to do is like rest everyone. I think they should be happy that Keenan Allen didn't get hurt because he played a little bit more. But
Hmm.
no, I don't think it matters. Listen, I mean, kudos to them. Like, obviously, Jim Harbaugh, that guy's a hell of a coach, man. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got that team fighting, like making a game like this fun. But I don't think it matters at all. I think all you really learned is that you are very grateful that you have Justin Herbert because Trey Lance is ass, dude. Like, he is not good at all. And so I think you're happy with that. But I think it was smart of them to rest their guys and get as many offensive linemen specifically back healthy as possible too. So good for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm excited to watch the NFC playoff games too, because they're going to be
Oh, dude, there's
juicy as
so
well.
many. Yeah, there's so many good matchups. Like even there, you look at some of the. Let me see what the overall standings are right now because I think that one is set in stone. Yeah, it is. So I mean, like the Packers going to play the Bears again, right, for the third time.
Crazy.
That's going to be a good game. Philly and San Fran. I mean, you have no same thing. San Fran's got to go all the way across the
Yep.
country, but you've seen how good San Fran is when they're playing well, and you've seen how bad they are when they're not.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, Carolina's got to play Los Angeles. I don't think. I think LA will be a pretty big favorite in that one. But
Yeah.
I mean, if the weather's shitty and it's sloppy like it was, I mean, you never know. Carolina's defense is pretty decent, so That's the fun part, man. It's like you have one chance. It's not a 7-game series like in other sports. So that's what makes it so much fun.
And I
It's always
think
game 7.
yeah, and this is going to be an interesting year because both number 1 seeds are going to be downplayed. I honestly think people will think Seattle's not 100% legit, even though, I mean, if you watch last night's game, they are 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just going to come down to like, will Sam Darnold like make
Exactly.
mistakes? That's what it
Exactly.
comes. That's what
Like
it'll
I
come
don't
down to.
trust Sam Darnold, but he could easily flip that narrative. But like right
Yeah.
now, for me, I'm like, why would you trust Sam Darnold?
But
Because
at
he
the
hasn't
same
given you any
time,
reason to think that.
yeah. But at the same time, if you're Minnesota, you're like, we feel stupid for letting them go because like,
Yeah.
look at how good they are. So yeah, that one's going to be a conundrum.
Glenn, let me know. I'm actually very curious why, as a Charger fan for 47 years, you think Harbaugh is a joke. Because I feel like if I was a Chargers fan, which never in my life would I be, I would be thrilled to finally have someone that seems like a coach. But I'm curious why you think that.
Yeah.
You guys have a pick between MVP favorites? That's a good question.
Man, I'll probably just. It sucks for the Rams that they like are now they didn't win their division and all that, but I was on Stafford over May, so I'll stick with that. I just thought he was overall better, but man, that was. It's weird when stuff gets squirrely at the end there, but
Yeah.
May, if you give it to May, here's the thing: when you get an MVP, like it's hard to go wire to wire MVP and then Super Bowl champion. So I almost want them to give it to May, so it puts a
Yeah.
little bit more pressure on New England. So
Yeah. No
it
doubt.
doesn't matter to me, but both of those guys, I'm fine with either one. I mean, both of them are really good. So
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think they'll probably give it to Stafford because he's a little bit older in his career, and he threw for like 40, what is he at, 46 touchdown passes or something this year.
yeah,
So
that was nuts.
it's obviously very very well deserved. Even though they finished 12-5, which is really good. But yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I think both guys are really deserving. Both guys played really well this year.
But
But
you take
I
and
love
you
it,
take.
man. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you take either one of those away from their team, and they might not even make the playoffs. That's
Oh
how
yeah,
good those guys
no,
are.
yeah, no doubt about it. That's what's nice, and like that's why I also like I love it when there's parity like this in the NFL. You know, when it's there's not really an elite team, guys can see any. You know, you can basically make the argument for any team, aside from probably the Panthers, to like go to the Super Bowl and be able to win it, and you still can't even really decide on like who the MVP is going to be because it's like I can see this, but I can see that. So I think it makes it so much more fun, man, when it's kind of wide open like that. And yeah,
And Spa
we'll see.
to the max. I would just say I hope it comes down to a reunion of 10 years ago of Broncos versus Patriots at Mile High to go to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 50 was like that. Super Bowl 60. Let's hope for the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's even Super Bowl 48. It was that same matchup, but yeah, it would almost be like passing the torch of like Brady Manning to like Nixon May. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
damn cool, man. That
it
would be.
would
Even
be.
though I hated the Patriots, and I don't hate them as much now because it's kind of you know chilled
Brady
out.
and
But I
Belichick, aren't
hated the
they?
Patriots more than anybody at one point by
Oh,
far.
for sure. Yeah, I think most
So
people did. It's just like the thing. It's just like people get tired of like the certain teams winning all the time. It's I say. I mean, I'm sure there's a tons of people that hated the Chiefs for the last few years because then they add extra stuff with like you know Taylor and all this other nonsense. But like, you just want to see somebody new. That's what's cool about this year. Is it's like we don't know what's going to happen, and it's exciting because
yeah, I mean,
it's
when's the
fresh.
last time there was an AFC Championship game without Mahomes in it?
Exactly.
You know, it's like it's been like 7-8 years since that's happened. So even that in and of itself is cool, and it's kind of why I hope the Steelers win tonight because I don't really want to talk about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and I honestly I don't really want to see them
I
based
don't
off what
either.
I know that they can do. So maybe Aaron Rodgers will have one last hurrah, and we'll see how that goes. But
The last gasp of Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
that game's gonna be wild though. It's gonna be
Yeah,
wild.
and I mean
But
that's a playoff game, and
oh, no doubt
so
against two teams that hate each other.
yeah, and
You know.
always just like tough football, like tough defense, just big hits, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be
It's
a
gonna be a good one.
hell of a ball game. But
So,
cool, man. I mean, I think not a whole lot to talk about, surprisingly, given that the Broncos won got the number 1 seed, but I think this has kind of been something that we've been anticipating really since we got the Christmas Day win. Any other final thoughts? Anything else that you want to discuss specifically before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'll just echo what Kodiak said. Like, it needs to be Sherrod Greenlaw. I love Singleton and all the stuff that he's battled this year and everything. And I understand he's the green dot guy, but like, come on. I mean, you can't sit Sherrod after a performance like that. Like, make it a rotation or something. But like, he just by far looked like he has the best legs, like the toughest tackles, all that stuff. Singleton was always like half a step late today again. So yeah. And I mean, this is a game where I wanted us to play crisp and well going into the playoffs, but then also like this is a lot of teach tape on this game where it's like you got to tighten those screws up now. Like you cannot get. It felt like a lot of those guys were like, "Yeah, we're gonna win, so I'm not gonna go 100%. I'm not gonna die for people. I'm not gonna do." And it's like, no, none of that anymore. Like it is
Yep.
100% on now, and that's the right you've earned. But you got to go do it,
No, I
and
agree.
it is
And
gonna be a dogfight.
it's a big reason why I really wanted this game to be like more important than it was. Maybe even like for the division, because I think it really would have like been
Locked
a
us
good
in.
measuring stick with where we are. But yeah, I mean, if we're going to be able to flip the script, we're going to see the week off could help. The week off could really suck. So it's
I don't think
it's
it'll
good.
hurt us personally,
No,
but
yeah,
at the same time, like if they come out in the first quarter of the playoff game and look disjointed and out of touch, or like if they give up, the defense gives up a touchdown, or their offense can't move the football, we're going to be blaming the bye week. So
yep,
it's just how it goes.
yeah,
But like, there's no excuses. Like we've asked for this. This is what we wanted. This was our goal, and now you've earned the right to play at home. And now a lot of people have said you're a fraud or whatever. It's time to prove it.
yep.
All those things are going to come to a head right now, and I just want games to be decided on the field and not because of officiating or any of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I think that's the biggest thing, and I'm definitely looking forward to Kodiak dunking on Singleton once the season is over for
I
sure.
hope Singleton gets like a game-winning interception or
Yeah,
fumble
that would
recovery
be amazing.
just for Kodiak.
No, it would be amazing, and it's one of those things, man. Where it's like I completely agree with what you both said about like it's got to be Greenlaw and Sternad if Greenlaw's healthy, but I just know it's not going to be.
You don't think
So
so?
I'm just like, what? No, it's not. Like he's the team captain. He's the green dot guy. Even today, they ran a lot of defense where they would put Jade Barron in the box as the extra DB. Sometimes they do it with Hufanga, and it's always with Singleton. Like that's just if he's the communicating the calls, unless he's hurt, they're not just going to be like, oh, okay, now this person's communicating the calls. Like I don't think it just makes sense. Maybe I'm wrong.
They
But
got 2 weeks
yeah,
to maybe mess with it.
yeah. But do you want to mess with it? So that'd be the thing. But the Broncos, man, we got the O line better like flush that game and figure it the hell out. And hopefully those guys got their like. It allows for them to really buckle down and refocus because that was a putrid performance against backup linemen, and some of these guys are getting their ass kicked. So yeah, that's got to be significantly better, no doubt about it.
Was there a offensive lineman that you particularly like? I didn't watch the offensive line enough to like focus on it, but do you think it was Powers? Do you think it was like I saw McGlinchey getting beat? Like I saw a
Yeah.
bunch of people. It seemed like it was like a total team effort of getting beat, but
No, it was. I tried to pay attention to it as much as I could, like when they showed the replay. I did notice McGlinchey got beat a couple times. It was not good. I saw Forsyth got beat in pass protection once, and it wasn't good. But a lot of the times it seemed to come from Bo's. Well, I would say there's a lot right. So I don't know. I know, but I know that there was somewhere where Power struggled as well. So it seemed like it was like a total a total team effort, just like you said.
yeah.
But no, I mean I'll definitely watch the all 22 again tomorrow, like I usually do on Mondays, and then see what PFF has to say as well in terms of like how many quarterback hurries and pressures and all that somebody allowed. But yeah, I mean, if Powers had a really bad game, at least he played the whole game, and at least at that point you'll know. Look at Derrick Henry busting it loose on the first play, but at least you'll know like, hey, all right, do we roll with Ben Powers, or do you just go back with Palcho, who was playing really well?
I know.
So
I
we'll
mean,
see.
it's good to have that option, but you want your starter to be playing better. And
Yeah,
it felt like Bo was under immediate,
immediate.
like,
It was really weird, man.
pressure.
It was
Yeah,
really
from the
weird.
middle. Like, and he was able to spin off of it. Those are the type of plays that will go kind of, we come to expect that from Bo Nix. But like, I'm telling you, if you don't have a super amazing athlete at quarterback, those are sacks, drives like killers. He did a lot with his legs today. Um, Way more than he should have. But
Hmm.
I mean, be
But
thankful for that because I think a lot of people take that for granted.
yeah, I mean, no doubt about it, man. But I'm telling you, like, I think those improv, his ability to extend plays and go with his feet. I mean, it's gonna come back and be a big benefit to us in a major way in the playoffs. I think it's gonna come down to like, oh man, like what a hell of a play that was to keep a drive going or something. So
Yep.
it's really nice that he's got that in his arsenal. But yeah, he ran a little bit too much today
Mm-hmm.
because I know we talked about it being a playoff game. I know Sean Payton was like, we're treating it like a playoff game, but really, it's not like because it's not actually a playoff game in terms of the opponent that you're playing.
Yep.
But so it's a lot. It's easy to like go in with the mindset that you're going to treat it like a playoff game, but then, uh, you kind of come to the realization that it's not.
And you
You know.
could tell the effort from a lot of guys were just like, I'm not going to make the tackle. You make the tackle. No, you make the tackle. Or, I'll give a 3/4 of an effort. Like it
Yeah.
clearly wasn't a playoff game. And if they play like that in the playoffs, they will get beat. So, yeah.
Yeah. No doubt about it, man. Well, I appreciate you riding with me, guys. Everybody in the chat, you guys have been dope. I'm gonna go grab some grub and get ready to head out with the wife here in a little bit. But anything, last message, final words for all the viewers about the Broncos or the game or anything that you want to make it about, or maybe even what you got cooking up on the channel.
Tremendous season. I mean, 17 games season, 14-3, first seed. Like, you're relatively healthy going into it. Like, where we're at right now, I don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs, but like, what an amazing season. What a tremendous, like, more than any of us could have, predicted or like, legitimately predicted. So I'm just, I'm proud of the way this team has battled. I'm proud of the way that they have handled under pressure in tight games. And yeah, I just think I'm just really pleased with where we were 3 years ago to right now is like I would not have believed that at all.
Oh
So
yeah.
give
No,
Sean
how could you
Payton
have?
tons of credit.
Yeah, how could you have, man? And again, just like we said, if at the beginning of the year the Broncos are going to be 14-3 and be the number one seed, and you knew that, you would be thrilled, regardless of how it ends up happening. So
Definitely.
let's stick with that same energy and get healthy, get right. And man, I'm so excited for these playoffs to start, man. So
Yep.
we'll have a lot of fun stuff to talk about in the coming weeks. Appreciate you guys. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening, man. And we'll
Check
catch
out
y'all.
Horsepower Hour tomorrow, by the way.
Yep, tomorrow 8 p.m. That's right. We'll see y'all there.
See ya.
Peace out.